Actress Lily Bernard, who appeared on The Cosby Show, is now suing Bill Cosby, alleging that he drugged and raped her in 1990. Bernard has long claimed that Cosby assaulted her at a hotel in Atlantic City after saying he wanted to mentor her. And there is a change in a New Jersey law that will now allow this legal battle to go forward in a way it never could. Cosby was released from prison in June after a Pennsylvania court overturned his sexual assault conviction in a separate case. He has been accused of assaulting dozens of women. Joining us now is Lily Bernard, the woman suing Bill Cosby. She is joined by two of her attorneys, Jordan Merson and Jordan Rutsky. Great to have all of you here. Lily, yesterday you were finally able to file this lawsuit against Bill Cosby after everything that you have been, the story that you've been telling since 1990 when you say that he raped her. So what is this moment like for you now?
It's surreal. It's empowering. I'm grateful to my attorneys, to the activists, legislators, and governor of New Jersey for allowing me this opportunity to hold Bill Cosby accountable for the life-altering sexual crimes he inflicted upon me. I'm grateful that I'm going to be able to present my evidence, testimony, and witnesses in a court of law, and I'm hoping that my case will inspire other states to also pass the Adult Survivors Act so that other survivors across the nation can see their day in court. And clearly, since only 2% of rapists ever see a day behind bars, that evidences that our criminal justice system is stacked against survivors.
Particularly with the statute of limitation laws that, as we know, so many victims of rape have come up against. And so the fact that you haven't been able to do this, though you've been telling your story and this rape you say happened in 1990, what have these 31 years been like for you?
They've been every day, every day I live with the fear and the pain of the crimes that Bill Cosby inflicted upon me. I suffer panic attacks and night terrors of the Cosby trauma regularly. I am a mother of 6 children, so of course I have to stand strong and be there for them. I'm also an actor and an artist, so I find comfort in my art, but it's been difficult. I suffer PTSD like any other war veteran suffers PTSD, except the war that Bill Cosby waged upon me was not overseas. It was actually on the landscape of my body. So. Yeah,
we've heard this time and again, actually connected to Bill Cosby. Your story is tragic, but you're not alone, as you well know from having connected with so many of the other accusers. And so, Mr. Merson, what changed? What changed in the New Jersey law that is allowing Lily to move forward now?
Well, what changed is on December 1st, back in 2019, there was a new law that went into effect. It's called the New Jersey Child Victims Act, and it allows people like Ms. Bernard, who have been victims of sexual assault, as we allege in her complaint, to come forward. There was a window created, a 2-year statute of limitations window. And what that means is that the statute of limitations cannot be used as a defense to Ms. Bernard's claims. That window ends November 30th of this year.
Let me read to you what Bill Cosby says through his spokesperson, Andrew Wyatt, about this today. We got this statement. These look-back provisions are unconstitutional, and they are a sheer violation of an individual's constitutional rights and denies that individual of their due process. This is just another attempt to abuse the legal process by opening up the floodgates for people who never presented an ounce of evidence, proof, truth, and/or facts in order to substantiate their alleged allegations. Mr. Cosby continues to maintain steadfast in his innocence. Do you have a response to that, Lily?
Well, I'm going to defer to my attorney here, Jordan Rutsky, for that answer.
Yeah, we're not concerned about what Bill Cosby or the representatives are saying on the subject. What we're concerned about is what the court says. And the court has already found this law to be constitutional. They found that in the very court that we brought this lawsuit in, the United States District Court, District of New Jersey. The most recent decision was in September of this year. It was a case called S.Y. versus the Roman Catholic Diocese of Patterson. Mm-hmm. It's publicly available, and the court found there was no vested right of perpetrators like Bill Cosby to expect that there will be no consequences for their action, and that laws like this that change the statute of limitations are are constitutional. And so, Bill Cosby and his representatives can say whatever they like. What
Yeah.
we're concerned about is really what the court has to say, and it's right here.
But what about the
There it
point
is.
that 31 years is a long time to have to preserve evidence?
First of all, the issue of presenting no evidence, the case was filed yesterday. There'll be a time to present evidence, and quite frankly, the best evidence is the testimony of Ms. Bernard and the testimony of Mr. Cosby. And we are ready and willing to produce Ms. Bernard for a deposition as soon as defense counsel would like, and we're happy to depose Mr. Cosby as soon as possible. As far as preserving evidence in a situation like this, we're going to see what evidence is out there. We know what we have. We're curious to see what Bill Cosby has, and that's just a situation that will develop.